Good morning and welcome to Our Chicago. I'm Judy Sue. Americans have a busy week ahead. Millions will be traveling for the holiday, and of course, after Thanksgiving, it is Black Friday. But just days before the unofficial kickoff to the holiday shopping season, the U.S. Commerce Department reported that Americans cut back on retail spending in October after 6 straight months of gains. Joining me this morning is Matt Adams, principal with Deloitte Consulting in Retail Strategy, and they just published their annual holiday shopping outlook. Good morning, Matt. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning, Judy. Hey, great to be here.
All right, so let's dive right into the holiday retail survey that Deloitte just released. I have to say it was a little surprising because when you released the back-to-school shopping survey in the summertime, that data showed consumers were cautious about the economy, inflation. They were spending a little less. Those factors are still there. But what are you finding when it comes to expected holiday spending this year? People are not necessarily holding back.
No, they're not. And in the national survey that we did, which surveys consumers across the country, as well as in the Chicago market specifically, nationally, consumer spending is expected to be up for the holiday season, about 14%. In Chicago, we're a little bit more reserved. So you are seeing some of those factors that you just articulated play out. But what we're really seeing is more of a reflection of the last 3 years. And if you look at 2020, spending was not surprisingly down significantly. But in Chicago in particular, we rebounded particularly well in the last couple of years. And so Chicago has just been a little bit ahead of the rest of the country in terms of return to normal spending amounts. And relative to pre-COVID levels, we're actually flat in terms of consumer spending and what they're expecting for their holiday season.
Oh, interesting. And Matt, the survey also found that 2/3 of people apparently plan to shop during Thanksgiving week, which is a jump from last year. What's the reason behind that? Why is that number significant?
Yeah, you mentioned that consumers are a little bit more conservative in Chicago, and what they're really looking for is deals. So shopping on Black Friday, shopping on Cyber Monday has really returned. 81% of consumers in the Chicago area have said that they're going to shop those deal days as opposed to 52% last year. So it's a big jump. And really consumers are just looking to make their dollars go further and make sure that they can keep the holiday as festive as possible.
I have to agree with that sentiment personally. Okay, let's look at some other numbers. You also found that this year consumers plan to wrap up their shopping in a shorter amount of time than pre-pandemic times. This is interesting. So you found it will be about 5.8 weeks instead of 7.4 weeks. Very specific with those numbers. Why is that significant? And what does that tell us about consumer behavior, and how will then retailers respond to that?
Yeah, it's really two things that we're seeing. One is, again, that reflection on the focus on deals, making sure that they're taking advantage of the bigger events that are happening during Thanksgiving week and around it. But also, this reflects a broader trend that we're seeing in the retail space and with consumer behavior, looking for convenience. So they are very focused on reducing the number of stores that they shop, reducing the time that they're spending shopping. They are putting deals and products in their basket and waiting for the right deal to pop up before they purchase. So there is some of that, but it's really a focus on deals and convenience.
I think I have done all of that you just said. There are things waiting in my shopping carts. Okay. On the other hand, though, Matt, American credit card debt is also at a record high right now. That is according to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Missed payments are also up. There are student loan payments coming due. How will that financial reality impact holiday spending this year?
We're actually seeing in our data that the expectation, at least in what consumers are saying, is that their spending on credit cards will be flat. So relatively minimal impact. We're seeing that it's a pretty consistent trend, and consumers are still expecting to shop even with with perceived credit crunch.
All right, Matt, I have to ask this question on behalf of all of my viewers watching. After studying all of the data for your survey, looking at all that consumer behavior, what is your overall takeaway for our viewers on how, when, and where to find the best shopping deal this year?
Yeah, it's really about, again, paying attention to those big event days. I know that they're pulling forward and calling it pre-Black Friday and things like that. So there's a lot of opportunity out there in terms of finding deals that will make your dollar go further. There's also a focus on some acceleration of trends that we saw pre-COVID, even in terms of more focus online, shoppers are increasingly spending their dollars online and also on gift cards, which to some extent is about passing the effects of inflation and higher prices on to the recipients of their gifts. But we're seeing a significant increase in pursuit of gift cards and shopping through that as well.
All right, Matt, when are you shopping? Are you shopping before Black Friday or after or during Black Friday?
You know what? There are a lot of great deals out there. So I think I actually might this year be shopping on both Black Friday and Cyber Monday to see what deals I can pick up.
All right, well, there you go. Matt Adams with Deloitte Consulting. Thank you so much for your time. Happy holidays.
Thanks, Judy. Great to be here.
All right, after a short break, we will hear what Illinois retailers are expecting this holiday shopping season.
Watch breaking news on YouTube. Subscribe to ABC7 Chicago Eyewitness News.